Osoyoos Town Council, Monday, September the 19th, 2016, 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. And we're happy to report that Eastlink is up and running today, so we hope that those people that have Eastlink cable will be watching us live. Welcome back to Eastlink. So we will adopt some minutes first, and first of all it would be the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of September the 6th, 2016, and the regular open minutes of September the 6th, 2016. Could I have Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor? Thank you. Business arising from prior minutes. I first of all need to get a motion to accept this into the meeting. Is that correct, Mrs. Hilson? Could I have a motion to accept this? Thank you. That would be Rhodes, Campbell, all in favor. Thank you. Section 91.1, legal opinion, watercraft safety legal opinion. The motion moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Rhodes, that after the review of the legal opinion relating to municipal regulation of watercraft rentals, Council directs administration to seek the support of Destination Osoyoos, Chamber of Commerce, Hotel Motel Association, Osoyoos Indian Band, and the Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen to endorse another letter to Transport Canada expressing Council's concern about the regulations of motorized watercraft rentals, and that this motion be taken out of camera, and that was carried. This morning we discussed this at an in-camera meeting, and I believe that that you knew that we had. Did they know we'd sent a letter to? Yes, a letter to the Minister of Transport. Our concern is that we've had 2 deaths and 1 serious accident in motorized watercrafts on the lake in the last couple of years. We were concerned about how we could make the lake a little bit safer for not only our residents but our visitors, and we requested a legal opinion who did give us and they gave us some ideas on what we might be able to do in terms of dealing with it from a licensing point of view here. We've decided that rather than go that route at the moment, we are going to get our partners in the area to write a strongly worded letter again to the Minister of Transport and see if we can, in getting all these people to back us, to see if we can get some kind of an answer for this. We are quite concerned, but that's where we're at right now, and that's why we decided to bring it out of in camera. So next is we need to adopt the agenda. So could we have the agenda adopted, please? Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Next is water matters, and where are we here? And that would be to report on the expenditures from accounts payable for water councillors and council approval. Water district cash requirements to September 19th, 2016 are in the amount of $55,669.56. Could we have, thank you, moved and seconded. Councillor King, and all in favor. Thank you very much. And next is, I don't seem to have the same thing on here as we do somewhere else. There we go. Permissive tax exemption bylaw. That would be Mr. Zackel.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So before Council is permissive tax exemption bylaw number 1324, 2016. And the background is for Council to renew their permissive tax exemption bylaw under Section 224 of the Community Charter. Each year, Council updates their permissive tax exemption bylaw, which is to be adopted no later than October 31st each year. This tax exemption bylaw would take effect for the 2017 tax year. The permissive tax exemption bylaw has had one change That is the removal of the Osoyoos Lake Lions Club, as the club is no longer in operation. For the community, continuation of providing permissive tax exemptions by updating and renewing the permissive tax exemption bylaw. Organizationally, there's no changes. Budget, there's no changes. Under significant dates, bylaw needs to be adopted no later than October 31st, 2016, as per Section 224 of the Community Charter. Under sustainability, allows nonprofit organizations and places of public worship to continue to provide services to the town of Osoyoos community. And for the options, option number 1, to give first 3 readings to permissive tax exemption bylaw number 1324, 2016. Option 2, to further amend permissive tax exemption bylaw 1324, 2016, and give first 3 readings. And option 3, to delay giving first 3 readings to permissive tax exemption bylaw number 1324, 2016. And recommendation from staff is option number 1. We've also put an advertisement into the Osoyoos Times for this week and next week, which shows the dollar values that are attached to the permissive tax exemptions for the community.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell.
I'd like to move option number 1 to give first 3 readings of the permissive tax exemption bylaw number 1324 to 2016.
Thank you. A seconder. Thank you. Did anyone want to speak to this? I'd just like to say that in looking through all of the groups, the nonprofit organizations and churches in this community, that there are a lot of people a lot of groups and that are getting are tax exempt. So we certainly hope that people will read the article in the paper next week and realize that this is a good thing, I think, and that people need to know that that type of thing is happening. I believe we asked at one point to have a financial record. Am I correct in that, Councillor Rhodes? Did I think that we had asked at one point to see to make them accountable to getting this tax exempt bylaw? Am I correct in that? No.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it must be something else.
We did have discussion on it, though.
We did discuss it.
We definitely had discussion on it, though.
Okay, and so people need to know that this is a very big thing for the town to be able to do. So have we voted on this? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Next is the OCP Amendment Bylaw 1230. Ms. Huang, you're going to talk about this at Braeburn Place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the purpose of this report is to request that Council adopts the attached Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1230.15, 2016, and Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1085.94, 2016. In order to facilitate a future 18 duplex lot subdivision, the applicant wishes to amend the land use designation from high-density residential to low-density residential, and to rezone the subject property from R7 high-density residential to R3 low-density residential. After Council gave the bylaws first and second readings on May the 2nd, 2016, a public open house was held by the applicant's representative on May the 18th. Following the public hearing on August 15th, the bylaws received third reading at the September 6th regular Council meeting and final approval from the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure on September the 7th. If the bylaws are adopted, Planning and Development Services staff will work with the applicants on the subdivision, development permit, and the building permit processes. Examples of some of the matters that will be discussed and addressed at the subdivision stage include cost-sharing contribution to off-site upgrades along Braeburn Place and the 2nd of 92nd Avenue fronting the subject property, preparation of a stormwater management plan, submission of plans and drawings for the proposed buildings on lots that appear to represent a constraint in terms of building footprint, shape, and area, and the placement of a geotechnical covenant on title for each of the proposed lots. In terms of implications for the community, members of the public had an opportunity to provide comments and feedback at a public open house and as a public hearing. Organizationally, in order to facilitate the proposed development, subdivision, development permits, and building permit applications will be required. Included as part of the zoning bylaw and OCP housekeeping amendment proposal that was introduced to council during the committee of the whole meeting today, staff is proposing to provide greater clarity to the multifamily residential development permit area section of the OCP by including duplexes regardless of their land use designation. While the OCP considers duplexes as multifamily residential development for the purposes of the multifamily residential DPA, it currently also states that this DPA is required only for areas designated for medium and high density residential use. In terms of budget, off-site upgrades to Braeburn Place and the segment of 92nd Avenue will involve cost sharing as determined in consultation with True Consulting. And in terms of sustainability, the proposed developments would aid in promoting additional housing choices to accommodate different lifestyle and housing preferences. And the options before council are option number 1, that council adopts OCP amendments bylaw number 1230.15, 2016, and zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.94, 2016. Or option number 2 is that council does not adopt the bylaws and the bylaws will be abandoned. And staff's recommendation is option number 1.
Thank you very much. And I see one of the things we were waiting for was a signing off from the Ministry of Transportation
Yes.
and Infrastructure,
And they
have
have
just had that.
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Member Kordoff. I'll make a motion based on option number 1 that Council adopts the OCP amendment bylaw 1230.15, 2016. Do you want to do them separate or together?
I think so. Good. Thank you very much. So that's the OCP. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor Campbell. So we should vote on that one first. All in favor? Thank you very much. Now we need a separate motion. Thank you for the Councillor Campbell. Are you going to do it for the zoning?
Move that zoning amendment bylaw number 1085-94, 2016 be adopted.
Thank you very much. And seconder for that, Councillor Rhodes. All in favor? Oh, pardon me, Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Member Kordoff. So because we're going through a significant amount of work and kind of doing a non-traditional down zoning, so to speak, for this property and that, once we finish this process today, and assuming that this will also pass, is there a timeline that we have established, or is there any commitment from the applicant to move forward with this in any kind of a time frame at all?
Well, I guess staff will be, right now, after the rezoning process is completed, it is up to the applicant in terms of, the next steps for facilitating this development. There isn't any timeline with respect to a rezoning proposal when the development would need to be completed, but perhaps staff will be speaking to the applicants and seeing in terms of the timeline for the next steps.
I asked that. My motivation for asking that question is you always hate to go through it. That's a bad choice of words, I know, but you hate to go through this whole process based on something where there doesn't seem to be any commitment to get going right away, and it could carry on for quite a while. And that was why I asked if there had been any commitment or if you had any knowledge about, when the process would start.
Thank you. Mr. Alenko is here. Do you have an answer to that question, Mr. Alenko?
If I may, Madam Mayor, we have a contract with the owner for the design of the subdivision, and we are actively working on that as we speak. I expect that probably within a couple of weeks we'll have a formal subdivision application in, and our timeline to have the design for the subdivision completed is October 15th.
Thank you. Is that helpful, Mr.?
Thank you very much. That's comforting information, yeah.
That's what we like to hear. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion. We haven't voted on it. Am I correct? Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. And thank you, Ms. Huang, for that. Next is audit services, and that would be Mr. Zackel.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So White Kennedy has been the Town of Osoyoos auditor since 2001. Section 169 of the Community Charter states that council must appoint an auditor for the municipality. The Town of Osoyoos requires audited financial statements for both the Town of Osoyoos and Sun Bowl Arena. White Kennedy's current contract expired once the 2015 audit was complete. A request for audit services for a 3-year period was made to White Kennedy LLP, BDO Dunwoody, and Grant Thornton. These accounting firms all have extensive experience in municipal audits and have quoted as follows. White Kennedy LLP for 2016 is $24,000, BDO was $26,000, and Grant Thornton $29,200. Under the implications for community, continued integrity check of the financial systems of the Town of Osoyoos, organizationally, no changes. Budget, an increase of $2,580 from the 2016 budget. Significant dates, an auditor needs to be appointed before year end. Sustainability, adheres to the community charter. Under options, to appoint White Kennedy LLP as the Town of Osoyoos municipal auditor for the years 2016, 17, and 18. Option 2, to appoint BDO as the Town of Osoyoos municipal auditor for 2016, 17, and 18. And the recommendation is to appoint White Kennedy LLP to the Town of Osoyoos municipal auditor for the years 2016, 17, and 18. White Kennedy has been thorough in their audit process and are very experienced in municipal audits. In addition, their firm was the lowest bidder.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell.
This is one of those things where I'm certainly comfortable looking at the recommendation of our CFO. So I would move option number 1 to appoint White Kennedy LLP as the Town of Osoyoos municipal auditor for the years 2016, 2017, and 2018.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Councillor King, seconding that. We're always happy to have somebody local doing this, and this is about as local as you get, so I think that makes us happy. All in favor? Thank you very much, Mr. Zackel. And next is the Richter property tender, and that is Mr. Zackel as well. Oh, sorry.
Do you have a report first, or do you want me to just read this? Okay.
So it has your name on the top of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So what we've got is a Richter Servicing and Southeast Meadowlark sewer tender. These two projects are in the town's 5-year financial plan. The budget for each of these projects is as follows. The Richter Subdivision Servicing was roads in general of $785,000, sewer $87,000, water $195,000, for a total of $1,067,000. Under the Southeast Sewer Extension, we had Southeast Meadowlark of $532,500, the sewer extension of the fire hall of $86,500, for a total of $619,000. The tender for these projects closed September 14th, 2016. 3 tenders were received, with Connex Civil Contractors being the lowest bidder at $1,465,235.10. The bid includes a 5% GST and $70,000 contingency. The contract net of GST is $1,395,462. So the tender was broken into 3 parts. Part A, the Richter subdivision. Based on the tendering, this project is estimated to be $42,825 over budget, but includes a $30,000 contingency. There is budget remaining in the 74th Avenue Fire Hall offsite services and the other project of Western Access Stub Road adjoining the Fire Hall projects that can cover the budget shortfall to complete this portion of the project. Under Part B, Southeast Meadowlark Sewer. Based on the tendering, this project is estimated to be $74,433 under budget. This project is also a DCC project in the town's new DCC bylaw that is at the province waiting for ministry approval. The bylaw needs to be adopted before $266,250 in DCC funds can be used towards this project. Estimated approval is approximately 4 to 6 weeks, and they've had it now for just a little bit, so we should be getting that money soon. Under Part C, Water System Upgrading on Wren Place, this was a late item added. This tender came in at $82,570 and is part of the overall water twinning project. Due to the timing of the installation of the services in this area, it was more cost effective to complete this component now rather than later, and this portion of the tender would be paid out of the water twinning project. So basically, rather than digging up asphalt twice, this component of the water installation was included in this tender. So under community implications, increased infrastructure and servicing for the first subdivision in the southeast Meadowlark area. Organizationally, there's nothing to report. Under budget, funding is available in the 2016 budget. Significant dates, construction to complete in the fall of 2016. So the options before council: option 1, to award the Richter subdivision and Meadowlark area sewer system tender to Conic Civil Contractors in the amount of $1,465,235.10, which includes a 5% GST and a $70,000 contingency. Option 2, to transfer $42,825 from 74th Avenue Fire Hall Offsite Services and Western Access Stub Road adjoining the Fire Hall budget to the Richter subdivision budget. And option number 3, to not award the contract at this time. So the recommendation is for option 1 and option 2. As well, there should be 2 separate resolutions from council. This project is in the town's 5-year financial plan.
Thank you very much. We did get a copy of the tenders, and they're all extremely close, aren't they? So I guess it shows that they're all sort of on the same page, but we are required to take the lowest unless there is some very valid reason not to. So we need 2 motions on this one. Could I, Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'm wondering if I could ask about the over budget amount, the $42,825. And the contingency of $30,000. I'm wondering if you could maybe...
Yeah, I can respond to that in part.
Okay.
Overall, I should point out that we're below budget, but in this particular element, we went over. And the best explanation for it is that there was a redesign of the subdivision layout, which incurred additional servicing costs, but at the same time, we got 5 additional lots out of it, so we will be recapturing that extra money from the sale of the lots.
Are you okay with that?
And the comment about the contingency, it's in the same sentence. I was just wondering what the pertinence of that was.
With each capital project, we try to include a small contingency factor in there for any unforeseen events during construction. So that's a common practice of having a small contingency component in each of the contracts. It's not that they get the money. It would still have to be vetted through the project manager being true if there was the requirement for those extra funds. So historically, we've very rarely have used the full amount of contingencies on projects.
So just for clarification, so you have $30,000 contingency. If they don't use any contingency, will the project only be $12,000 over budget?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Can I ask we know that the company that's going to be building the houses is ready to start too. Are they required to wait until this is completed, this servicing, before they can build?
Partially. Arrangements will be made that, in fact, they could move in and start building their first 4 homes during the time that certain construction is still going in. So that's something which we'd work out with the engineers to make sure that there's no conflict. But we've already talked about proceeding in that manner, and it's apparently not unusual to do so.
Good. Okay, thank you. I just thought we were quite keen on getting things started, and I didn't want to have wait for this first. Okay, so could we have a motion? Is there somebody who'd like to make a motion on this? Councillor King?
Option 1, to award the Richter subdivision and Meadowlark area sewer system tender to Conic Civil Contractors in the amount of $1,465,235.10, which includes a 5% GST and a $70,000 contingency.
Is there a seconder for that? I will. Oh, Councillor Campbell has seconded that. Is there any other concerns? Anybody want to speak to that first? All in favor? Oh, sorry, you did? Go ahead, CJ.
Sorry about all the questions. I just wanted to ask about Connex Civil Contractors. I'm not really familiar with them, and I know they come recommended and everything. Do you have any memory of any other projects they've done in our community?
No, I don't personally myself, but I think it's worth reading out the recommendation verbatim from our consultant who knows them very well indeed. And just so for the public record, this was in the report, the recommendations are provided by Steve Underwood, our consultants, and it says, and I quote, Connex is a highly competent contractor for Kamloops. True has extensive experience with Connex and Kamloops. Connex has constructed at least one large subdivision designed by True each year for the last 12 years. Connex is proposing to utilize their most experienced foreman for this project. True does not anticipate any issues arising from Connex as the contractor on this project.
Thank you very much. Anything else? Are all in favor of the motion? Against? Thank you. And motion, you need a second motion now.
I'll move.
Councillor Campbell.
I move that we transfer the $42,825 from the 74th Avenue Fire Hall Offsite Services and Western Access Stub Road adjoining Fire Hall budget to the Richter subdivision budget.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes. Anyone like to speak to this one? All in favor? Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the general net payroll and Sunbowl Arena financial accounts. And the general accounts to date of September the 19th, 2016 are $273,391.74, and the Sunbowl cash requirements of $1,288.86, and those will be adopted by consensus. And the net payroll accounts of $71,725.92, and that will be received for information. Next is the summary of building permits, and we have for the month of August a total of $969,000. Year to date is $4,457,935, and year to date in 2015 was $5,223,000. So my assumption is it was the fire hall was the big. No, it's not. Just lots of people building last year. Oh, okay. I'd forgotten that. Seems to me we didn't have that. But anyway,
When the fire hall will come in a little bit later, and it'll add about 5.5 million to the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of single-family dwellings, a home being demolished, an in-ground pool, and a wood deck. So thank you. Bylaw do we need to have a motion to accept that? Thank you. Rhodes, Campbell, all in favor. Thank you. Bylaw enforcement. For the month of August, the bylaw officer has provided some information. Infractions this month: 22 in traffic, 28 animal, 22 property, 3 noise. I thought it was interesting to several other bits and pieces there too, but there was a where is it? One of these. Bylaw enforcement comparison. Bylaw hours in 2015, July and August, and in 2016, it's actually July to December, and January to August. And interesting to look at the numbers. Traffic 184, and from January to August, it was 278. Animals 63.5 in from July to December last year, and 132 from January to August this year. The parks 143 and 221. Of course, this one it does include parts of the summer in both of them. Miscellaneous 30.5 last year, 65 this year. Interesting one that Bylaw spent, did 195 hours on water infractions last year, and 4 this year. So that's a good thing. We think that people must be, well, they didn't have to water as much probably this year, but it was interesting to look at the difference, and people are obviously paying attention to that, and so that's a good thing. Is there anything else on bylaw enforcement that it's a standard report, and it's certainly available if anybody wants to look at all the statistics. So we need a motion to accept the bylaw report.
So moved.
Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Did we get all of those, the building and all that stuff we got? Okay. So we are now on to committee reports. And I don't believe...
Can I make?
Oh, absolutely. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Madam Mayor. I just make a little report from Economic Development, working with DO. That DO has upgraded their website now, and to continue upgrade it, so people will be able to see what's happening in the town and possibly get some direction if they want to build here in the town. They've also upgraded their bylaws to include another seat on the board, which I think is very beneficial to the bigger picture of DO. And also the town has put an ad in the paper looking for a new person to sit on Economic Development Committee, so I'd encourage anybody out there that's watching to possibly submit an application if they feel they can contribute to the town in a big way. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a CIO report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a few of the activities the administration has been involved in the last couple of weeks, starting in community services. The request for proposals for the building controls have been circulated online and through BC Bid. The RFP closes on September 23rd. We are in the process of reviewing the Marina Office and Parking Lot Agreement. It's up for renewal in September. The Desert Park License of Occupation is approaching renewal, and we are reviewing the lease agreement with Desert Park Exhibition Association. We're also discussing improvements to the building. The registrations for fall programs started on Monday, September 12th. Our annual pass sale started on September 12th and scheduled until the 19th, which is at 30% off. So today is your last day for 30% reduction. Corporate services, we're doing a lot on municipal ticketing from the summer, sending out, getting out owner information, serving tickets, and sending out letters to the owners. Freedom of information issues, we still are working on 2 very large freedom of information requests, and continue to train our new corporate services admin support staff person. Planning and Development held the Parks and Trails Master Plan Open House with 20 people participating and providing feedback. Report to Council is expected probably at the end of October, beginning November. Public Works, Operation Services Report, the award recommendation for the rural area twinning Phase 1 system will be delayed until October 3rd, so that we can allow adequate time to evaluate the bids. Street sweeping throughout the town continues. Pavement repairs continue throughout town. There was a lot of work for Public Works with the setup and cleanup of the Gyro Park grand opening. Just a short report from our Environmental Stewardship Ambassador. He attended nearly all markets on Main from May till September in order to educate the general public on water conservation methods and matters, implemented the flagging program to remind abusers about water restrictions and watering days, educated over 75 homes that violated water schedules about the correct days and times of watering according to their address, and offered help in form of lawn assessments, conducted lawn assessments in 20 different homes, and also assisted Bylaw with enforcing bylaws about water regulations. Myself, just a couple things. I attended our monthly fire hall meeting. Scheduled opening has been changed from September 30th to October 31st. Project is moving along well, just some timing setbacks from initial startup and some recent delays. Certainly, the Gyro Park opening was also on my agenda, and attended a downtown revitalization planning meeting and also the council planning meeting. And that's my report for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We need to motion to accept. Thank you. Campbell Rhodes, all in favor? Thank you. So it comes to councillors' reports, and Councillor King, you're first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attended the event at Gyro Park last week, and I've never seen so many people having such a great time. Sunny day, and the amount of hamburgers and hot dogs every time I went to go on the line, it just seemed to get bigger. So it was well received, and just really want to thank all the volunteers and people that made that happen. And also was at the Parks and Trails planning session at Sonora Center, and really want to again thank the consultants and the staff particularly. They had a big large map there to look at, but it was really simplified so people could really understand the pathways and the walkways, so that was very well received. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. And I asked if we could have a copy of that
Yeah,
map
yeah.
and put up, because it was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Councillor Youngberg is on holiday this week, so that's why she's not here. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Looks like we might get done in record time today, so I won't delay things too long. Wanted to comment on the Gyro Park grand opening last week. I was able to attend that, and one of the takeaway things that I got out of that event was the amount of families that showed up down there with young children was just absolutely the greatest thing. I know we had talked about it when we were trying to schedule this event down there, and we wanted to kind of get it done after the summer and before our snowbird season started, and it certainly worked out really, really well. A lot of local people down there with young families and that kind of thing, so it just really added another whole aspect to it. Many of these things that go on, like this event in our community, are there's so many things that go on behind the scenes. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the staff that worked, not only organizing it, but getting everything together and kind of going down there and putting out, the various fixtures and all that kind of stuff and getting everything prepared for it. So thank you very much for that. I know they hung around. I was able to sneak away a little early, but I know that a lot of the staff and the mayor and a couple of the councillors hung around afterwards and helped with the cleanup and that kind of thing. So, yeah, great event, and we always need to show our appreciation for the people that work so hard to put these together. So, once again, thank you very much for that.
Thank you. And a special thank you to the Legion. There was about 6 of them. Boy, did they work hard. They were exhausted at the end of it. So we certainly appreciate all the work they've done. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I won't be too repetitive. I as well attended the Gyro Park celebration, and I'm incredibly appreciative of the amount of work that goes into that from our town staff. If anybody's wondering why there are no hot dogs or hamburgers available in the town of Osoyoos and surrounding area, that would be why. I don't think any of us imagined it being that well attended, and it was pretty amazing to see. I also attended the Parks and Trail Master Plan at the Sonora Center. Looking forward to attending the Incommate Desert Cultural Center's 10th anniversary celebration on September 30th. And I'll also be attending UBCM next week. One more thing, just a personal challenge, I guess, to the parents and the families out there, as I see more and more kids gathered on devices and on the internet and on their Game Boys and iPods. that there's a lot that we can be doing in the community, from archery to South Okanagan minor hockey, martial arts, dance, skiing, snowboarding. If you're challenged with the financial means of getting your kids involved, there are avenues. I met recently with the Sonora Center to look at different ways we could help those families and fund them. I encourage everybody to just reach out and find a way. I can't say enough how important it is to have our kids active and the attributes they get by playing these sports and being around kids their age in a competitive environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The reason there aren't any hot dogs and hamburgers around is that Mr. Emanko had to go down in his car and get it full again down at AG Foods, and I believe we had somewhere like 500 people there. So that was pretty amazing. I've had kind of a busy couple of weeks. I was at the Okanagan Basin Water Board annual meeting where there was Mr. Lacey was also there, and the guest speaker was a lady from California who was looking at water issues down there, and in a historical sense, how it's happened in the past, and I thought she did an excellent job. You will see a very good write-up of that in the Osoyoos Times that Mr. Lacey did. So please read that. That was a very interesting event to attend. I also, after that, went to the CIDIT 10th year anniversary. Southern Interior Development Initiative Trust. They said it was a 50-50-50. 10 years ago, they had $50 million given by the government. They have spent $50 million on various projects listed in here, and there's $50 million still in the bank, and they've leveraged $275 million or something like that. So it's pretty amazing, and nice to know that at this meeting, the Highway 3 Coalition was looking to get some money to look at tourism, and they agreed to give us $25,000. So that was even better.
Yeah.
Then I was at Lobster on the Beach, and that was a very classy event put on by an amazing group of volunteers in the Rotary. They do a really, really good job of setting up just a spectacular tent with beautiful linens and wine, and we had a really good time, and I just want to thank the Rotary very much. They did an excellent job of that, and they made some money as well. Earlier that day, I was at a luncheon at the Senior Center, and they'd invited me to come and say a few words, and there's a ton of people down there that work, and many of the snowbirds that come here in the wintertime say that's one of the reasons that they like Osoyoos so much. It's that there's so many events that happen, not only at the Sonora Center but at the seniors. So I thanked all the volunteers for continuing to do that. Rona opened last week in Osoyoos, and Councillor Campbell and I were there. We just held the board, I think. We didn't actually do the sawing on that. Rather than a cake cutting or ribbon cutting, it was a board cutting.
I thought you were a karate chop at home.
Oh, I was thinking about it. So we were very happy to be there and welcome the Milky family back into the town of Osoyoos. They used to live here, and they're now involved again. So we're very happy to have them, and I believe they have 11 or 12 people that they've hired there. So that's a good thing. Yesterday I was at the Terry Fox Run at the Sonora Center, and Sarah Dynison organized that. It was quite interesting. Several of the Coyotes were there. They had played in Kamloops the night before and won, and they apparently, some of them slept on the bus on the way home, but they got home at 3 in the morning, and then they were up at 9 o'clock. I think they did the short run, because I did about a 3 or 3.5 kilometer, and when I came back, they were not to be seen anywhere. So I assume they went home, went to bed. So we appreciate having that. That's, what is it, 35 years or something of the Terry Fox Run in this province. So that's a good thing. Tomorrow, And Wednesday, I am involved with the International Joint Commission. The International Osoyoos Lake Board of Control has an annual meeting. That will be happening tomorrow during the day, and then tomorrow night there is the annual meeting, a public meeting. It's being held at 7 o'clock at the Oroville High School. It is open to anybody who would like to come. One year, the meeting is in Osoyoos, where it was last year at the Lake Water Science Forum, and this year it is in Oroville. I was also at a meeting down in Oroville the other day where several of the local people, they'd included two of us that are on this board, are quite concerned about water issues, and they were hoping that they could stir up some interest in having people pay a little bit more attention to not only lake levels and the Zozel Dam, but also invasive species and how we're going to look after water for the next millions of years, I guess. So please come tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night in Oroville if anybody is interested in that. And I think, and of course Gyro, that was great, and the Trails and Park as well. So lots of things to do around here, lots of things to get involved with. Please come out and support your favorite activities. Look in the paper, look online. There's all kinds of things that you can do, so nobody can say that they're bored. And next week, we will all look forward to being down in Victoria at UBCM, although we are asking Councillor Rhodes to stay behind and take care of the town. So what I need, that's all I have to say today. What I need is a motion to close the meeting.
So
Thank
moved.
you. Thank you all in favor. Thanks, everybody.